Got almost 300 views on that last one we did. We killing it, man.
Hawk Talk off-season episode 2 of the off-season. Today we got transfer talk. We got season 2 awards to get to. In the booth with me as always, Percy Cooper, Assured Fame. Fellas, what is up?
Man, this has been an amazing freaking transfer day.
Yeah.
Can't wait to talk about it.
Zach, how you
Uh,
doing, buddy?
it's
Both you,
been
both you guys are
exciting.
coaches, yeah.
Yeah, it's been exciting for us. It's like we said last week, we didn't have any advantage. We didn't know who was in it until Nighthawk said it. So we've been competing just like the rest of you guys.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
definitely.
yeah, I mean, it's been fun to watch as an outsider. Me not coaching this year's given me a little opportunity to watch the action going on. It's been fun. You guys have done a great job. All the coaches have done a really good job. I've heard back from a lot of
Yep.
prospects saying how good the coaches have done and how hard this year was to decide on teams. So props to all the coaches for doing that. It's been a great day here. We started that at about 2 Eastern, those
Yep.
announcements, and they've been flowing in ever since. We'll get to that. We're going to do season 2 awards first today. You
Yep.
guys had a chance to vote on those for the last week now. That voting was closed last night, and today we get to reveal the season 2 awards. We're going to go over defensive player of the year, offensive player of the year, coach of the year, and the All Americans at the 5 positions. I did not get to make my freshman All American list. That will come out later. Just ran out of time today, but let's get to it right away. Let's go. Let's start with our All Americans, and
Sure.
we'll break these down a little bit. So let's start at point guard. Our All Americans at point guard for season 2: Adrian King and Tez Green. Adrian King,
As
soph-
green.
Adrian King,
Sorry,
sophomore from Duke. Tez Green, a freshman from Kansas, led his team to a national title this year.
my boy.
Yeah, you guys want to break down these two guys? I think Adrian King was the league's leading scorer this year again, so he deserves to be on here. And Tez Green, one of the best freshmen we have, maybe the freshman of the year.
Go ahead, Zach. I'll let you start.
Yeah, well, I mean, thank you, Percy. Adrian King, obviously, his game speaks for himself. We're going to talk about him a little later, but almost 25 points a game, 4 assists. He does a little bit of everything, so that's a well-rounded spot. And then Tez Green as well. I mean, he's a champion. It's a well-deserved spot. I have no tribulations with this. It's a well-deserved spot and a good vote by everybody.
Percy?
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, you how can you not have Adrian King as an All American, Mister 25 points a game? Like he tore the league up this year. He played for the worst school ever, but I mean, he still did his thing. Um, and Tez Green, like y'all said, man, that my bro, shout out broski, love
Mm-hmm.
you. Um, he did his thing as a freshman. He came in and he didn't let anybody down. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he said he was gonna have a big season and he did. So he brought he to a championship, him and Jar. So
Yeah.
you know
Yeah, one of
that was
yeah, Tess Green, one of the few freshmen that we're probably going to see on this list, just was phenomenal at point guard this year for Kansas. Adrian King, always great for Duke. Adrian King, will jump a little preview. Adrian King committed to UNLV today, transfer. So the Rebels pick up Adrian King, another lethal
That's
scorer
huge.
for that
Yeah.
Rebels team. But that's our freshman, or that's our point guard All Americans. Now we'll go to our shooting guard All Americans, and we have Sawyer Stern from Gonzaga, Zeke Ali from Texas, both sophomores, both well deserving. Uh, Zach, go ahead and start us off. Break us down with Sawyer Stern.
Sawyer Stern's a great player. We we saw what he did in the tournament. I'm a big fan of his. He shoots the ball a lot. Um,
yeah he does.
Zeke Ali again. It's a good choice. I know again when I was picking for this one, Stern was up there, and then Ali and a few others. But Baron Thomas might have been up there too. I'm sure it was a little close. But again, I can't really argue with either one of these. I think Stern needs to watch his shot selection, but well deserved pick there for sure.
Sawyer Stern loves to let the ball fly, but we saw him make some big shots down the stretch, especially in March Madness.
Yep.
Percy, Zeke Ali, talk to me a little bit about the sophomore from Texas who also is a transfer new coach at Marquette.
Mhm.
Man, Zeke Ali. I mean, he was amazing at Duke in season one. He was amazing at Texas in season two.
Yeah.
He's gonna be amazing at what'd you say, Marquette next
Mm-hmm.
year in season
Mm-hmm.
three.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the head coach. He's one of my favorite players to watch in the league.
Yeah.
But then again, I could say that for a dozen,
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
he had a hell of a season, and he took Texas to great things, and they're gonna really miss out on him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we saw Zeke drop 30, 31 in a game, maybe 36. I don't know, something. He had a really high scoring game. Helped Texas to the Elite Eight where they lost to UCLA, but
Mhm.
fantastic shooting guard in the league. Going to do great things at Marquette. Moving on to small forward. Small forward
Oof.
was the hardest
Yeah.
vote that we had, and it was the closest vote. One of the guys that didn't make it is an absolute stud, and one of these, only two of the guys. Before we get to the vote, only two of the guys could have
Okay.
made it out of these three, right? So
Yes. Yep.
it's one of those three guys that we're talking about didn't make it, and there's nothing to hang your head about because this was just so stacked. So let's go. Let's see the season two small forward All Americans. Trey Upton, sophomore Oklahoma State, and Scooby Lewis, sophomore from Oregon.
Ooh.
That means Mike Coco, the freshman, gets left out
All
of the
right,
Mm.
All American
here.
voting. Probably the best left out player in voting, but this, like I said, the sophomore position was just so stacked, or the small forward was so stacked. Zach, tell me a little bit about Scooby Lewis.
I mean, Scooby Lewis did a little bit of everything. Him and Coco have a pretty similar game, so I thought it'd be interesting to see the results for this. Uh, Obviously, they're lights out scorers, but they can rebound, they can assist. I mean, we saw Scooby Lewis lead them to a deep playoff run and the conference champions as well. So it's well deserved. I mean, like you said, leading up to it, it would have been tough picking between him and Coco. I thought Trey was the one that would for sure be there. But congratulations, Scooby. Well done.
Yeah, I agree. Percy, talk to me about Trey Upton, one of the top players of the year this year.
Yeah. My bad. Zeke Ali went to Kentucky last year. My bad, Superwoman. You're right. No, but Trey Upton, he was a Duke guy.
Yes, he
That's
was.
correct.
Yes.
Yeah, so Trey Upton, who I was thinking about anyway. Uh, he's had two amazing seasons. He's one of the best players in the league, if not, top five. He puts on shows every time he gets on the court. Him and Bigham's lead, Oklahoma State. They're gonna do big things. They did big things last year. They're gonna do big things this year. And it all revolves around him. He does everything. He gets rebounds. He gets assists. He gets steals, blocks. He scores a lot of points.
Yeah.
Man, what else?
Definitely.
What else do we say about Trey Upton, man?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Trey Upton and Mike Coco are very similar to each other in terms of style. So I think that Trey was the better player overall this season. Mike Coco's right there. If I wish I could have one more All American vote to give to Mike Coco because he really does deserve it. Being a freshman, he'll definitely probably find himself on the freshman All American list. Maybe freshman of the year contending with Tez Green up there. There's a few guys for that award, but the people voted and you guys voted this in. It was really close, guys. I think it was separated by like 4 or 5 votes. So those guys were definitely deserving. Coco is in chat, said I'll gladly pass the torch to Scooby, my favorite to watch down the stretch. Very humble.
Love to watch
Uh,
Scooby, man.
very humble, Mike Coco. You're gonna be crazy. He hasn't. Speaking of commits, Mike Coco hasn't committed yet, so I think we're all waiting for that one. Moving on to power forward, All Americans at power forward: Horace Lynch and Lefty Wright. Horace Lynch, sophomore from UNLV, Lefty Wright, sophomore from Oregon State, both out of the Pac-12. Lefty Wright might be a guy that we don't talk about enough. Percy, he was on our team last year at NC State. I feel like we say this every time we talk about him. We just don't talk about Lefty Wright enough.
We talk about Lefty Right all the time, man, and he's a go getter. He's a do it all. He might not score 10, 15, 20 points a game, but he's a stat sheet stuffer, man. A PTP, or just like Dick Vitale would say. He really got Oregon State going. I mean, they have Turk Maverick, but he was one of the better players. He was one of the ones that made that team go. I mean, he did just a little bit of everything, and you cannot not have a guy like that on your team. I mean, it means everything.
Yeah, for sure. And Zach, tell me about Horace Lynch a little bit. What he meant to that UNLV team.
Yeah, I mean Horace Lynch,
Yeah, go ahead.
he did a little bit of everything. Nighthawk. I mean, obviously when you play with Lafleur, you have your stats go down a little bit. But I think Horace Lynch, if you kind of look at his games, I mean, all three of us kind of analyzes it from a higher perspective. This is a well-deserved player, and I remember when I first came into the preseason tourney, Horace Lynch was insane. I'm dropping stat lines like you could never see, like 10, 5, 4 assists, 2 blocks, 3 steals. Uh, kind of
Hell
what
yeah.
Percy was saying, does a little bit of everything. So congratulations.
Yeah, I thought actually, watching the preseason and watching Horace Lynch, I thought he would be the first player to drop a triple double in this league,
Hmm.
just because of how dynamic he is. I still think he's a player that's definitely capable of doing that. Them
Yeah.
adding Adrian King next year is going to give him another, a little more freedom to do stuff too. So,
Mm.
congratulations to those guys. And then our final All American award at center. This was probably the second hardest one to vote for, as there were some great centers, but I think we know the two that are going to run away with this. Julius LaFleur, sophomore UNLV, and Turk Maverick, sophomore Oregon State, both in the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is really doing well
Yeah.
in these awards, back-to-back
Yeah.
UNLV and Oregon State. So love to see
Scrubs.
those. Percy Cooper's upset in here. Don't worry, Percy. Baron didn't
I'm
make
just
it
playing.
either.
Hey, I think I picked one of these guys too. Oh wait, no, I picked myself. I'm lying.
Yes, Percy, tell me about Turk Maverick a little bit, man. Sophomore from Oregon State. Yeah, this guy can do it all, man.
Right, let me put it to you like this: Turk Maverick is so good. Louisville went from a Final Four team to a team that didn't win any games. Enough said. That's a dog. That is a dog
Yeah.
on the court.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, when you lose your identity in Turk Maverick and it basically ruins you for a year. Um, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And Oregon State benefited getting him, and they won the regular season Pac-12, lost in the conference tournament final to Oregon. But great season for Oregon State. Turk Maverick, big reason for that. Zach, tell me about Julius LaFleur, man.
Yeah, I mean, not only a well-deserved position, 17.4 points, just about 13 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, almost 3 blocks per game. What's scary, I mean, I'm sure you both know and everybody watching, Kareem Bigham's had pretty close stats, but I mean, I think both of these deserved it. Shout out to the Pac-12, and especially LaFleur. I know he was up for Player of the Year contention as well.
Yeah, for sure. Julius LaFleur was a guy that came over from Kentucky, another Kentucky transfer from last year. More of a role guy, as we've said before, and then just blew up offensively. Just started killing everybody. So Julius LaFleur is definitely a guy that I loved watching this year. Maybe my one of my favorite players to watch this year. Maybe I'm gonna have to do a favorite player to watch list because there's a lot of them. But the center position was another one that was tough. You know, DJ Jackson was there, Kareem Bigums was there, Jar Duncan was there. That's hard, man. That position was very tough. Jar Duncan won a national title as a freshman. DJ Jackson led the league in rebounds as a freshman. You know, Kareem Bigums was our player of the year last year. Doesn't make the list as All American this year. So it shows how much the center position's evolved. But I think all the guys that won those awards were very well deserving. If you didn't win an award, take it on a chip on your shoulder in season 3, and get your name on that All American list. I know that
I'm
Baron
right.
Baron will be working very hard to get there. No,
So will
um,
Percy.
yeah, Percy. Yeah, we'll see Percy. We'll see. No,
Nah,
hey,
there ain't a chance in the world. There's too many good centers
that's yeah, but you can
in
get
this league,
there.
man. I'd have to average a triple double.
You can get
I
average
I
triple
rather
double.
what I'd rather win a chip.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So would
I'd
I.
rather win a chip.
So would I. All right, let's go on to the Coach of the Year. Coach of the Year was voted on by you guys as well in the season 2 Coach of the Year. This is a pretty easy one to decide. Lover of Tech, Kansas, Percy's brother, won a national title in his first season as coach at Kansas.
Congrats, broski.
Took
Even though
Kansas
I ain't vote
to
for you.
back-to-back titles. I think there was a lot of deserving guys on that list. If Tech doesn't win the final, Shane Page probably gets Coach of the Year. He's right
And
there
I,
with
I
that.
thought T Web.
C Webb did a great job. Up Libertines and Tolney kind of tag teamed at UCLA to
Yeah.
do a really good job. Misfit did a great job at Oregon. So
Assured.
Dewey did a great job at Oregon State. There was a lot, guys. So,
Yeah.
but I think you win a national title. That's pretty much locking you up for Coach of the Year. In terms of how they did it, they ran through that tournament pretty handily. So, congrats to
Whole
Lover.
new team.
Congrats to Lover of Tech for that. Now we got 2 awards: our Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. We'll start with our Defensive Player of the Year. This was a tough vote for sure. There's some guys in there. There's a lot of deserving. These are the hardest ones to vote for. Only one guy can win this year's Defensive Player of the Year: Julius LaFleur, center from
Wow.
center from UNLV. This vote was very close with Scooby Lewis from Oregon. It was a very, very close vote. Julius LaFleur comes out on top. Defense. I messed up this graphic. I need to recolor this graphic, but I wanted to get it out. I was already late. So, Julius LaFleur, Defensive Player of the Year. Zach, tell me about his defense a little bit. I know you got the stats pulled up right there. Julius LaFleur, what didn't he do defensively? He's a defensive first guy. So.
Hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, kind of like what you guys said. I was talking a lot to Legion when I was getting recruited and all that. I mean, his player was a defensive first player when he was at, I think it was Kentucky. You said.
Yep.
So we knew that was part of his game, and then offense came later. So we were just blessed with that. But almost 3 blocks per game. And again, what a lot of people don't keep in mind is the physical. When you get in for someone's face and you force a contested shot, things like that. There's a lot of what we saw there. I voted for Scooby just because I thought the steals, the blocks, and all the other things. I'm
Mm-hmm.
more of a forward guy, but
Mm-hmm.
LaFleur definitely deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, a guy like Scooby that can, get impressive. He gets steals out on the wing, gets some blocks too. I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
smaller guys that do that. So definitely Scooby was in that contention, but I think LaFleur just was a difference for UNLV down
Well
there.
deserved.
So well deserved. We'll go to our Offensive Player of the Year, and this one actually wasn't as close as I thought it was going to be. The Offensive Player of the Year for Season 2, Julius LaFleur, sweeps the awards this
Wow.
year.
Wow.
Offensive Player of the Year, Julius LaFleur, center from UNLV. This should actually just say Player of the Year. It shouldn't say Offensive Player of the Year.
Damn.
So that title is wrong. It's just Player of the Year overall. Julius LaFleur gets that, takes that home from UNLV.
Happy birthday.
Actually ran the vote pretty well. So congrats to Legion, taking both awards this year. Kareem Bigums took them both in season 1. Julius LaFleur takes them both in season 2. Who's gonna do it in season 3? But Percy, give me your take on Julius LaFleur, man. What did he mean for UNLV?
Man, he was everything for UNLV. I mean, they had a really good team. But he was what got him going. They played how he played. I mean, the guy was the defensive player of the year and the offensive player of the year. I mean, this guy, you know, wow, man, congrats, man, congrats, bro. Happy birthday, man. You deserve it.
Yeah.
Hey, good season,
Yeah.
man. Good
Yeah,
season. Back to back players that sweep the board. CSBA,
Yeah.
let's go.
yeah.
Pretty
So
cool.
congratulations to Legion for sure. Had a monster stat line for UNLV. Big reason why the Rebels did as well as they did. So
Mhm.
congrats to him. I know that he's going to have a target on his back with all these talented centers at least. Pax thinks it's going to be another center next year. I don't know, man. These other positions are coming up. Scooby was close. Scooby was second in that voting, so I don't necessarily think it's going to be always a center. But I think that LaFleur was definitely a guy this year that deserved that award. He was my pick to win that award, as well as most of the other people in the league. So very
Yeah.
impressive from Julius LaFleur, and congratulations to him. That'll wrap up our season 2 awards. I will put out Freshman All American later this week when I get a chance to do it, and Freshman of the Year. But yeah, that's our awards for season 2. Now we're gonna move on to transfer talk a little bit. Today we opened up the
Mm.
transfer commitments, and there was some names that I did not expect going some places. I misspoke earlier when I said
Ooh.
Mike Coco didn't commit. Percy, why the hell aren't you more excited right now?
What you mean? What happened? Why? He committed to
Man.
UNC? Coco? No way.
Tech, where
No,
you at?
I'm
Come
just
get your
playing.
brother, man. Come
Hey,
get your
I'm just
brother,
playing.
man.
Hey, man. Hey, I got some big things coming. You
Mhm.
know, UNC is about to be a contender. We scrubbed it last year. We chipped away. We played shitty. We got blown out a lot of times. But this year, I got some big things coming. I signed him. Don't forget my signing of Adrian Smith
Yeah,
from Tennessee.
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get to
Um,
him.
That's low key a good one.
you know,
That's
the
a big
the
one.
three-headed monster at center. We about to do big things, man. And matter of fact, breaking news, we got some more commits coming. So y'all might want to check the league chat and see the next UNC commit. So yeah, let's go.
This is off script right now.
Yeah, off rip.
Ooh,
Well,
I don't even
well,
know who it is.
I don't know what's going on either. Apparently, Percy
It
just
probably
went
doesn't matter.
rogue.
Probably some nobody.
Apparently,
Some
Percy just went
some
rogue
green.
on us. But
My two green tips.
let's just go down the list here. Dominic Shalizzi staying at Gonzaga. Ted did a
Hmm.
good job keeping Shalizzi there. Shalizzi was a big part of that Gonzaga Bulldogs team down the stretch. I was very surprised
Hmm.
that he entered the transfer portal. But I know speaking with Coach Stern over there, I know that he wanted Shalizzi back, almost top priority, and they get Shalizzi
Yeah.
back. So that's really big for them. Um, Next one on there, Jacob McKnight has not committed yet.
That's gonna be
Mario,
a big
Wired.
one.
yeah, Jacob Knight's a big one for sure. I'm
Yeah,
excited
man.
to
I
see where
can't
he
wait for
goes.
his commitment.
I can't see. I don't remember his top on there. If anybody can pull up his top, I don't remember. But Mario Tabano stays at UCLA.
That's
Uh,
big.
yeah, if you guys don't know who Mario Tabano is, it's Tony's
Come
girlfriend.
on, Mike.
So Tony couldn't pull his own girlfriend over to UConn.
Oh no.
She stays at UCLA. I'm just kidding, Tony. Tony's my guy, man.
Tony's good peeps, man.
He is a good piece, but Tabano stays. Tabano was huge for UCLA down the stretch. That's a big piece that Libertine gets to keep there.
Hmm.
Uh, Adrian Smith going to North Carolina. Percy just said that one. North Carolina doing a phenomenal job in transfer recruiting right now. Definitely should be much improved next year. Who else we got on here? Juwan Taylor still undecided.
I
That's a
bet.
Michigan State Green Center. Walker
Yep.
Lobo's going to UConn, following
Big.
Tolani from UCLA to UConn. That's big time. That's a big get. Walker Lobo was huge for UCLA down the stretch. Zach
Yeah.
hit some big shots in that Final Four. They came up short against
Dude,
Michigan,
he
but
killed
Walker
us in the
Lobo,
tournament.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
That UCLA team just straight murdered my Seminoles. So that's a big pickup, and we still got Prince Snell out there too, bro.
yeah. Walker Lobo's he's a tough guard, man, because he could stretch you so well, and he's a big guy. So
Hmm.
he's very tough to guard. UConn will have a very good 1-2 punch with him and Tolani for sure. There's another
Mhm.
UConn commit down here. I'll get to Prince Snell, undecided. Johnny Ward just committed to Oregon,
Yeah.
so Oregon picks up
Congrats.
another power forward to back up Devin Davis, which is nice. They could do a
Yeah.
couple of things with both of those guys actually. So a little flexibility
Mhm.
with Davis and Johnny Ward there. So the Louisville transfer goes to Oregon. Brian Wooldridge still undecided. That's a big one, big name still on the board from Michigan. He played backup to Dio, but he's definitely a starter on most teams. So Zach, I
Mhm.
mean Brian Woolridge, he could do a little bit of everything. He's one of those two-way playmakers.
Yeah, I mean, at one point I had three of those in my rosters and only one center. I prefer small ball just because the two-way playmakers they can do so much. So I know Woolridge is getting heavily recruited, and I know Shane's gonna miss having him if he doesn't come back, and I'm excited to see where he lands.
Yeah, for sure. Adrian King going to UNLV. We talked about that earlier. That's a big get for the Rebels at point guard. They lose Cash Packs
Hmm.
going to coach at Georgetown. They pick up Adrian King to fill his spot.
Yeah.
That's he's going to step into a good role there at UNLV. Maybe we'll see him pass the ball a little more and play more true to his arc. I mean, he's a playmaker at the end of the day, but he was so far and beyond a lot of Duke's ratings that they had to turn to him a lot of the time to score. Not going to be the case at UNLV. He's going to have LaFleur. He's going to have Horace Lynch. He's going to have guys that could score the ball. So we might see Adrian King do a little more distributing this year, which will be great for him because it's going to take some pressure off. He's a guy that we know could score when he needs to.
Insane. That's a great pickup, Nighthawk. That's scary because I know Cash Packs
UNLV.
did well. Whew, he can do a
Uh,
little bit more and then some.
yeah. Austin Thrickson still undecided, so another Michigan transfer. Michigan got hit pretty hard with the cap, so they had to drop a couple guys. Ethan Martin going to Notre Dame. That's a big pickup for the Irish. Dylan LeBlanc over there at Notre Dame now from Michigan State as the coach. That's a big time pickup for Notre Dame for a first year program to get a point guard like Ethan Martin in. Percy, tell me how big it is to get a guy a guy like Ethan Martin who was unhappy with his role at Oklahoma State. Definitely a starter, maybe on most teams in the league. Goes to a brand new team in Notre Dame. How big is that for a first year program to pick up a guy like that?
Man, it's huge, man. And not all of those Big East teams is picking up transfers like that, and that's big, to win the conference, to compete in the CSBA, you have to have a great starting point guard. There are so many amazing starting point guards in this league, and
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have one of your own, you're automatically ass out.
Yeah,
And they picked up a big one. Um, and that's the best way to start off your legacy at that school.
yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean, you talk about having great point guards, and most of the league is built upon great point guards. I know that at Michigan State we suffered playing a shooting guard at point guard. I'll be honest. I mean, Barron was playing point guard and held his own for times, but it's just not the same when you have a true point guard there. So, and Percy, even you guys at North Carolina, point guard was not your strength last year, and I think it hurt you guys hurt you guys a lot of times because you're playing against such great talent.
yeah, man. That's why. So now that it's official, I'll go ahead and say we signed Dick Dickey. you know. So welcome to the squad, Dicky, Coco. We about to do big things, man. So we went upgraded. So now, I have a point guard in Zachary Orion, who was a stud in season 1,
Yeah,
who was one of the top scorers in the
All
league
American in
as
season
my
one.
backup point guard. Like, we won't be scary, man.
You did a good job. Now it's up to you, man. The coaching hat guys to go on, and you got to lead these guys. So,
Definitely.
yeah, Dick Dickey going to North Carolina, as announced just recently. North Carolina's looking real scary, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, I know when I was game planning for Percy this last season, it was a nightmare preparing for the two-headed monsters they had there at center. And they had Anthony Stower, who I thought played a little under his rating, and then you add Dick Dickey, who was second in the league in assists with just over 5, which I think is underrated. Most people don't really think about assists, but that's pretty important. And then you add Mike Coco, who was top 10 in assists, scoring. So I mean, like you said, it's up to Percy, man. You got all the talent, and we're rooting for you, bro.
Yep, Monty
Anything.
will continue down the list. Tanner Quirk goes to Indiana. That's a big pickup for Indiana.
Huge.
Indiana, a
Hmm.
team that underperformed last year. Ace takes over, and picks up a
Congrats.
picks up a great point guard in Tanner Quirk to lead that Indiana team.
Huge.
So great job there by Ace. Monty Wyatt goes to Florida State, joining the Seminoles and Zach there. Zach, big pickup for Monty Wyatt. I know you guys love to run that 5-out offense. Monty Wyatt's almost perfect for that.
Yeah, I mean, losing Spencer Murray's not easy, but he was number one on my board, and I'm happy we got him, man. He's a great player, better character. He fits the mold of FSU, you know. We want players who will be unselfish, and he meshed well with Coach Aaron and myself.
Big pickup there. Michael Koenig going to Kentucky. Kentucky's lone pickup in the transfer portal. But they get,
Good one.
Kentucky likes to surround their guys with shooters, and they play that too big look, and they kick out to shooters. And Michael Koenig's definitely a guy that can knock down threes.
Hmm.
Coach Wired picking up a guy that fits their mold almost perfectly. And Michael Koenig plays
Yeah.
defense and shoots threes. They lost Travis Bowman, and they pick up Michael Koenig, which is it's pretty much a swap there. So
Yeah.
great job by Kentucky picking him up. Cody Clowers going to Georgetown, another Duke transfer.
Congrats, Pack.
Going to Georgetown, Pax picks up a nice player in Cody Clowers who impressed down the stretch for Duke. Dylan Hartjes goes to UNLV, so another guy going to UNLV is doing a great job. Maybe
Mm.
second, maybe right there with North Carolina in recruiting. UNLV has done
Yeah.
great, picking up Dylan Hartjes, picking up Adrian King. They're doing a great job. Hartjes is a guy
Mm.
that we don't talk about enough because he played for Florida last year. Uh,
Yeah.
best player on
He's
Florida
gonna be good.
best player on Florida by far. Just didn't get a lot of
Yeah.
love because when you're a team that's not competing like that, you're not going to get a lot of airtime. But Dylan Hartjes is a guy that I think could break out in season 3. So going to be
Hmm.
fun to see what he does. Mike Coco going to North Carolina as talked about already. I missed that announcement. I don't know where I was, but that's big time for North Carolina.
Yeah.
Um, Travis Bowman going to Georgetown. Another big pickup for Georgetown and Coach Pax. PJ Brooks from Syracuse undecided. Anthony Stover from North Carolina going to Notre Dame to join Dylan LeBlanc and Ethan Martin out there. So Notre Dame building a nice squad. Quentin Giles, Jason Taylor, Rob Davis all undecided. Darius Martin goes to Marquette. What do you guys think about this
Those
one?
big
This,
those big East schools are eating.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, they
coming in
picking up big time transfers.
Well, coming into transfers, I knew that the Big East was going to make a lot of noise because of how much cap room they had. But
Hmm.
they're doing a great job picking up these guys. Coach Blackpaw's I've known Coach Blackpaw for years, and he's one of the best recruiters that I've ever met.
Yeah.
But picking up a guy like Darius Martin is huge. Interesting though, what do you think they're going to do with Darius Martin? They got Zeke Ali at shooting guard.
Play him at the point, or vice versa.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
both have played point in their
Boy,
career for
that's
their
gonna be
respective
scary
schools.
either way. It don't even matter what they do with the rest of the time. I mean, it really does, but it doesn't, man. It's gonna go through Zeke Ali and Darius Martin. It's gonna be their show,
Yeah.
and they're going to take their team wherever it goes. So I'm really excited to wait and see what they do over there.
Yeah, Zach, when you pick up two scoring guards like they have now,
Yeah.
how's the rest of the mold fit in? Pick up some role guys, pick up a defender at small forward, pick up a nice defensive center who's going to rebound for you. Is that you think that's the way that Coach Blackpaw's going at Marquette right now?
I mean, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, he comes from Texas, where he found the blueprint with Horns to beat the likes of Oklahoma State. And they run a lot. For those last few games, they were running a lot. So I mean, their versatility is important. I do think they need to get a couple role players. I personally like a shooting five, but it's up to them. When you got players like those two that can drop 30 on any given night, you can kind of do whatever you want, which is props to him, man. Great job.
Yeah, the Big East is going to be very fun to watch as the Pac-12 was this year.
Hmm.
All those schools are doing good. Another Big East pickup, Royal Hawkins from Tennessee going to UConn. So
That's
Tony
big.
picks up a knockdown shooter. Royal Hawkins was lights out for Tennessee last
Hmm.
season. He's a guy that can really shoot the basketball.
Yeah.
UConn has Tony at point.
Almost had him at UNC.
They get Walker Lobo at forward. They're putting together a nice little squad.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about Georgetown. We've talked a lot about Marquette, Notre Dame. UConn's another Big East school that's it's going to do really well. And then the final transfer on our list committed today, Xavier Reed III from Oklahoma State going to Oregon State. So flipping orange jerseys, going to the West Coast and going to Oregon State to join Turk Maverick. So now you got Turk Maverick and Xavier Reed III as that 1-2 punch there at Oregon State. Don't forget they have Gary Payton III as well to back him up. So two really really good point guards at Oregon State, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing to watch, XR3 is a great player. We know that. It's gonna be interesting to see because I mean, he had Trey Upton, Ethan Martin, Kareem Bigums, all these other dominant scorers there. I mean, he has the potential to drop 15, 16 plus a game because him and Turk Maverick, like you said, their game really complements each other.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they get players around them, he could be scary good for that Oregon State team.
Yeah, I mean Percy, he's a playmaker. Arc, you know, you put him together with a dominant center like Turk Maverick, they're going to be able to do some really nice pick and roll stuff. They got lefty right out there that can knock down shots, that can cut to the
Hmm.
hoop. You
Yeah.
know, they're a team that you know won. We already said they won the Pac-12 regular season, and now they add a piece like Xavier Reed III.
Oh, Sway, like that's gonna be scary. I mean, like you said, they already won the Pac-12. I mean, what do they got to prove? You know, they got if not the best point guard. You know, he's proved himself time and time again. You know, it it might just be over. They might just have done something.
Yeah, I mean,
Him and Turk Maverick together.
so I mean that's the transfer portal, Zach. A lot of big pickups. There's still some that are undecided.
Yeah.
But I mean, we got a couple more days. We get All Star games, then we get recruiting. We get our new player recruiting, which is just important, man. I mean, a lot of these teams
Yeah.
I mean, for what it's worth, struck out in transfers with some of these guys. They're gonna have a shot to get some of these really top freshmen.
Hmm.
So, you know, stay on your game because you know there's guys out there. Mojo Rising is a point guard that I guarantee will change your program.
Hmm.
Mateo, Toy, a shooting guard that can really do a lot. You know, Craig, point guard, another point guard. There's some good ones. So if you didn't get good players and transfers, you know, get back to the drawing board right now and figure out which recruiting or which pieces that you need to fit into your program, and
Yeah.
then and you make a plan to go get them. But Zach, I mean, you know, we got 70 new recruits, I think. So something around there. We got a lot of new recruits. So there's a lot of space on some of these teams. How important is it to go get your guys?
I mean, it's important. I mean, like you said, if you didn't do well in the transfer portal, I mean, just consider a test run, man. You know what didn't work. Go back to those conversations and read them. Uh, See, I lost X person at this conversation where I could have fed in a little more. And then if you need help, I mean, that's what we're here for. You know, I know Percy and myself, we're new veteran coaches. I don't mind sharing how I make my graphics. I know Nighthawk doesn't either. We're all here to help you guys out, you know, but don't be afraid to ask for
Right.
help and, you know, have fun with it too.
Yeah. Well, now that North Carolina's capped out Percy, no, I was kidding. Now that North Carolina's got their guys, though, I mean, how do you guys build
Yeah.
from a standpoint now? You got these star players now. How do you build the rest of your team out?
Man, we just need role players, man. We're looking for that. You know, we still got room for one more recruit. You know, we're just looking for somebody that's going to come in and play hard. You know, and help. Maybe you're that key to us winning the championship. You know, we got Coco, we got Dickey. You know, we got Percy. We got a good team. Maybe you're that last piece. You know, and we're looking for that guy that doesn't necessarily have to be the superstar. That wants to just come in and you want to win a championship or do you want to be the superstar? That's gonna be the person that we want. You know, we want somebody that's gonna play team ball and come in and want to win.
Yeah, I think you make a great point there too. Talking to a lot of these recruits, you kind of got to figure out how they fit your program. And, you know, if you don't need stars and they want to be a star, like it's probably not the place for them. But you know, there might be a place for
Mhm.
them somewhere else. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's on these coaches, it's on you guys as coaches to figure out what a player wants and you know what are they how they want to be. So it's going to be exciting. That'll start on Friday, uh, Wednesday already. Yeah, McDonald or JUCO game on Wednesday. JUCO game, All American Western Union JUCO game. Those invites will go out tonight. There are still, I think there's another couple spots open. We had a couple guys leave the server, but I will send out invites tonight to JUCO and McDonald's All American game. So be on the lookout for those. JUCO game on Wednesday night, McDonald's All American game on Thursday night, and then recruiting on Friday, with signing day on Monday. So for blue and red on Monday, and then we go JUCO, and then we go green. Junior college transfers recruiting after that. and then we kick off the next season after that. So it's busy. It's busy. Tomorrow we're gonna take a day off, and then we're right back at it on Wednesday with the JUCO All American game. Zach, I know you'll be watching. What are you looking forward to most of those two games?
I mean, just to see how the players work. I mean, players, especially Big East. I mean, they've got so many roles to fill. Watch tape from last year, see which players you like, see what arcs they are, and kind of see how they compare to this. I mean, I know I have two spots to fill. I'm gonna be watching, taking notes. I know Coach Aaron is as well. Again, like you said, fit the mold and just see how they play. I mean, but also, kind of take it with a grain of salt. There's always a bad game every once in a while, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be a fantastic show.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a chance for coaches to watch, activity and chat. These guys are going to be watching themselves, so
Yep.
it says a lot if a guy's in there talking in chat, and you're also going to be able to see some of these guys might be better than others, and you're going to be able to tell from a rating
Mhm.
standpoint that that's a guy that could change my program, Percy.
Yep.
So I mean, when you're watching these games, what are you looking at?
Well, first of all, I'm looking at players that I know from league chat. You
Yeah,
know, those active guys, Toy, you say Craig, you know, all these,
Mojo, yeah, Calvin
yeah,
Prophet, yeah,
Mojo, Berto,
yeah.
man, there's so many of them. The League Three recruits are some of the livest I've seen, and I've been here since season one,
Yeah, we had a late one
and
coming.
they're
Yeah, David Ware is another one, power forward that's been really active lately in chat. He's in here today as well. But
yeah.
there
So
there
yeah,
are
like I was
some
saying,
there are a handful
that
of guys that are very very active. Maybe our most active guys.
yeah, and
Yeah.
those are the names that I know and that I'm looking. I want to see how they do, because those guys that we've gotten to know through the league chat. But I just want to see, like you said, we're gonna know who's better than others the way and how they play in this game. Who are the guys that I want to recruit? Who's that guy that I need? Who's the guy that Assure needs? Who's the guy that any team we're looking to see if you fit
Mhm.
our team needs, and
Hmm.
that's the best way to see it through this game.
Yeah, I agree. So that all kicks off on Wednesday. JUCO game Wednesday, McDonald's game Thursday, and recruiting opens on Friday. That's going to wrap it up for our show, guys. We did awards today. We talked about transfers a little bit. Um,
Yep.
Next Monday we're going to find out where some of these freshmen are going to play basketball. I think we'll do a show either Monday or Tuesday. And then we'll find out where these greens are going to go play, and that's it, man. That's a wrap, and we could jump into season 3. So next week on Monday, don't miss. We will have a schedule reveal. We will have the preseason tournaments brackets up. So definitely don't want to miss next week's Hawk Talk. We'll cover recruiting, who landed some guys, maybe the best recruiting classes. We'll rank those, uh, and then we'll talk about the
Yeah.
preseason, and then we're headed home, guys. Season 3 is about to start in a few weeks here. There's a lot to look forward to. The Big East comes in. Teams have really changed their makeup. A team like North Carolina
Yeah.
changes their whole program by getting a guy like Mike Coco, Dick Dickey. It's big for them.
Definitely, man. Gonna change the whole program.
So
So we'll
yeah,
see. We'll see what happens. This league's gonna be tough. There's a lot of
Yep.
great teams, so we'll see.
yeah. I appreciate you guys being on. Appreciate everybody in chat. Guys, stay active. We're 2 weeks away from the season. Keep this
Yep.
chat. It's been great. Keep the chat bumping for 2 weeks. And then we'll jump into season 2. We'll talk a little more high school coming up in maybe another episode here. Uh, but yeah, that's it for us on Hawk Talk. We'll see you guys on Wednesday for the JUCO Western Union JUCO All American game. For Percy Cooper, for Zach, Shirt Fame, I'm Nighthawk. Talk to you guys later.
Peace.